Martin Luther is a German monk who disagreed and was disappointed with the selling of indulgences. He wrote the 95 Theses and nailed it to the Wittenberg Castle Church door. Many people gathered for this event, wondering what in the world Martin Luther was doing. In 1521, Martin Luther needed to go to Worms, Germany to decide his fate and was declared an outlaw. Then he went to Wartburg Castle into hiding for 10 months. Shortly after, he returned to Wittenberg to teach as a professor. When Martin Luther passed away in 1546, Wittenberg put up a statue of him to remember and honor him. Martin Luther was born November 10, 1483 in Eisleben, Germany. When Martin Luther was ready for college, he was sent to the University of Erfurt, Germany to become a lawyer. One day he went up to visit his parents for about a weekend. He was a few hours outside of Erfurt returning back. He was caught in a terrible lightning storm. The air pressure of the lightning storm caused him to be thrown to the ground. Panicking for his life, he yelled to St. Anne, "I will become a monk." Martin Luther had one more party with university friends before July 17, 1505, when he decided to join Black Monastery in Erfurt so he could become a monk. Martin Luther had a problem with John Tetzel selling indulgences to many people. Martin Luther taught a literature class at Wittenberg Castle Church to make a difference to help students have a better connection with God. He didn't want them to have trouble like he did finding the best connection he could with God. Martin Luther nailed the 95 Theses, which is a list of questions for debate, also known as the indulgences, to the Wittenberg Castle Church door. Many people gathered for this event, wondering what Martin Luther was doing. He explained to them that he wanted to make a difference in the selling of indulgences. In 1521, Martin Luther was called to appear in front of the Holy Roman Empire at the Garden in Worms, Germany, to defend his beliefs, and the Roman Empire refusing to recant, which means no longer hold an opinion, to Martin Luther's positions. Martin Luther was declared an outlaw, which is a person who has broken the law. When Martin Luther became an outlaw, he went into hiding at Wartburg Castle for around 10 months. In 1521, Martin Luther writes the German Bible while he's hiding at Wartburg Castle. With the help of Philip Melanchthon, Martin Luther was able to return to Wittenberg Castle Church in early spring 1522. After Martin Luther returned to Wittenberg to lead, Martin Luther taught a literature class like he did before. He taught his kids to never give up on themselves and never to give up on God. A main tourist attraction is the Martin Luther statue in front of Wittenberg Castle Church. If anyone could have earned heaven by the life of a monk, it was I. Martin Luther said this quote after the stand. This quote is significant because this quote shows that Martin Luther believes that he earned heaven since he was such a good monk. And he changed many things, as in the teachings of the Roman Catholic Church and the selling of indulgences. He also believed he was a great monk because he stuck to his promise of becoming a monk and never gave up on that. The fewer the words, the better the prayer. Martin Luther said this quote during his stand. He believed that the fewer the words, the less of a sin. This quote shows that Martin Luther enjoyed shorter prayers because he believed that if it's a shorter prayer, you're not asking as much as in a longer prayer. He also wasn't as comfortable with prayers because he didn't feel that much of a connection with God. To be a Christian without prayer is no more possible to be alive without breathing. Martin Luther said this quote before his stand. He said it because he wanted to have a better connection with God and wanted to be the best Christian out there. This quote is significant because Martin Luther wanted to become the best monk he could be, and of course wanted to make a difference with the selling of indulgences, so he felt very attached to being a Christian, which means big on prayers. So he'd like to compare being a Christian without prayer to being alive without breathing, which shows him how big of an impact praying was onto him. Martin Luther is a German monk who disagreed and was disappointed with the selling of indulgences. And he changed that. He changed being disappointed and disagreed with it, and he changed to agreeing with it and being proud of it. He wrote the 95 Theses and nailed them to the Wittenberg Castle Church door, which helped him. It helped many other people. Many people followed those beliefs that Martin Luther wrote to help other people. He wanted to help people have a better connection with God, and that's what he did. When he went to Worms, Germany, and became an outlaw and went into hiding, he wrote a German Bible. Now, many people use that Bible to this day, and many people agree with it, and many people see Martin Luther as an inspiration because of what he did. He always taught his students, believe in yourself and believe in God. And I think we should all take that in and just follow it. And I think at the end of the day, he is the man who changed faith.